Oh, I gotta change that.
Okay, we are live here with How to Build Your Own Home. If you can't hear us, let us know. We got a couple of people coming on board here, so I'm hoping you can hear us. So please make a comment there if you can. A couple of things that are coming up with How to Build Your Own Home. A lot of different videos. I want to go over a couple of those that you can look forward to. I'm actually doing a sauna, a dry sauna with actually the ability to put water on it, steam it up, and to have a really awesome. Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear
Okay,
us?
we can hear.
Okay, good.
Awesome.
We can hear. So I've got that video coming up, and I will be adding that as a checklist to the program, to the Build Your Own Self-Managed course. That will actually be a two-part video instruction, the shell, and then everything finished on that. We will start that here soon. So I'm excited about that. We're going to talk about mantles and hearths and how to mount them and really what options you have, some codes with regard to that, how close the mantle can be to the fireplace, some stuff like that. And we're going to be talking about decks, covering full membrane decks. I'm on a couple of Facebook pages, and I see more damage done to decks than just about anything, because people have the open slat look, open slat feel. Water gets down between the studs, between the timbers and stuff like that. It just rots it. So we're going to talk about that some more. We have a couple of jobs we're looking to get finished in the next 2 to 3 months. We're excited about that. We're doing some video posts. We have some new starts. We have some commercial jobs coming up. Yes, some commercial jobs. We have 2 that we're contracted with. I'm going to talk about that because as owner builders, you develop a skill set that's quite invaluable, and it's not that hard to move into commercial, especially light commercial. They call it TI, tenant improvement, where you just take a shell of a retail place and you do some improvements on there to make it ready for a new business that would come in there. I'm telling you that TI projects are a lot easier than new construction from ground up, because you've already got the shell. You're just coming in there and doing some improvements. I've done a couple of these in my lifetime. I got some more coming up, but these that I've got coming up are very complicated, very complicated. So we're going to do a lot of videos like that. So I'm excited about what we've got coming up next, 18 months, a lot of new stuff, and more cabins, more, homes in the desert. Again, I build in 2 elevation zones, one at roughly 2,600 feet elevation, and another one close to 7,000 feet elevation, which is really close to 6,800 feet. So I'm building in 2 elevations. There's not many builders that deal with that kind of thing, and I deal with it, let me tell you. So we're a lot of stuff. We're excited about that. We only have a short amount of time today because we're with an event with some very close friends. So we're going to take some questions here.
Laura just asked, any omni-block projects?
Yes. One of the commercial jobs I'm doing will be half omni-block, half metal beam. That's where we're thinking so far. So you're going to see some omni-block. If all goes well with the design, we actually meet with the architect on Tuesday this next week. And I have an idea on how to create more square footage for a commercial site in the downtown area of where we live. If it all works out, we're excited about that. So look forward to that. Yeah.
So somebody else was bringing up the fact of ICF blocks. So go in a little bit about that. Yeah.
Insulated
block and ICF.
Insulated concrete form. That's what ICF stands for, and that's really a foam product like jigsaw or what do you call those little building blocks? Little kids, Legos. Just like Legos. You stack them, you put your rebar in, you pour your concrete. And I'm not a fan of that because I have 2 exteriors on that I have to affix something to, or in one side, I still have to fur up studs on the inside. On the outside, they do. A lot of the products have a hard, rigid base on the inside, like a plastic filler, where you can screw stuff to on the outside. But I haven't really found much interest in those. There's a product out of Oregon that I like even better. And if I can build another home for myself, it's going to be out of that product. If that all happens in the
What's
coming
the name
years,
of that
I
product?
forget the name of it. It's kind of like it's organic um, um, shredded wood made inert, meaning all the sugars are taken out of it, and then it's mixed with Portland cement and it's made into a form. So I'm very interested in that. You can take a screw and pick 2x4 and screw it right to it. It's that sturdy and rigid, whereas the ICF, the polyiso foam, doesn't have that rigidity to it. So I like OmniBlock and I like that new product because of that rigidity. Again, and then it's more fireproof. Literally, it's not going to burn. Whereas the polyiso under extreme heat, it's going to liquefy in front of you. So I you've heard me say all kinds of stuff about polyiso. I'll say no more. Okay, let's take some.
There's no
What
more.
do we have?
We have lots of visitors that are coming and going and making comments, which we appreciate that very much. Thank you. Okay. Oh, here, somebody figured it out. Fast wall. ICCF
fast wall.
form.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kelly Jones.
Yeah, that's fast wall, and it has what's really interesting about fast wall is it comes with either the polyiso or the mineral wool already embedded in the block. And OmniBlock's great, but they're separate. You have to the polyiso blows away in the wind and pieces fall over the place. It's kind of messy. Whereas the fast wall, it's really interesting. It's one block and all the outside insulation or the insulated part is already installed in there. So it's really, really interesting, but the price is really kind of high. I'm hoping it will come down. I've watched OmniBlock come down over the years because it's penetrating the market a little more. So these are things people can do. They can actually put these and stack these and make sure they're level. It's not that hard once you get the first row done. So hopefully we'll be doing an OmniBlock commercial project here in the next year or sooner. Okay.
Yeah, for the newbies, everybody put in the comments where you are going to build. And so maybe a few of you guys can connected.
Yeah. Say any other questions?
We're in southern Utah. Yeah, there's southern Utah. So I'll put.
I want to go, Paula.
Okay, here's one. Eric going.
What is that?
Have you heard of OS Block?
No, I haven't. Please send us a link in the description and we'll just go check it out. There's a lot of new technology coming out. And so I'm always on the game. I have a friend that's now into steel framing. And I'm talking with her. We might even use some of her product on a job where you send the plans, they cut the steel, everything's ready to go, and it's sent to your job site. So I'm looking into that as well.
Okay, we have Charlotta McNeil, North Carolina. Oh, my sister lived in North Carolina. So beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice there.
And then
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. My brother lived in Oklahoma for a while. You get ice storms sometimes. I don't know how I could handle it. And he took pictures of big spiders.
Do you guys listen to Brandon Biggs he's from Oklahoma. He's on YouTube. It's kind of an interesting personality.
Yeah. Okay. What else is going on, honey? What's fun and exciting?
Okay, I want to talk about the permitting process, just some thoughts to consider. Okay. If you're putting a septic, you're going to get bounced around. You're going to go to typically a water district of some kind. You're going to go to a health department of some kind, and you have to get both of those to say yes, you're good to go. Give you your fees and receipts. Save all your receipts because a lot of these places want you to show proof that you've paid for that particular thing that they're requiring. And then once you have all that, then you can go for the permit. And sometimes the permit cannot be issued until you have the septic and all the water and all the health department fees and inspections all done. So if you're looking to permit, and a lot of people, most owner builders are in a rural environment or close to a rural environment, which means you're going to most likely have a septic. So I run into this all the time. Also, fire fees. If you're in an area where there's a lot of potential for fire, high brush, a lot of trees. A lot of you that are out there back east, where there's a lot of wooded ground, you're probably going to have an SDD, like a fire special service district type of fee. And these can hold you up because the people that you go see for these permits, like it's not just one permit, it's multiple permits. So you have a geotech permit, or not a geotech, you have a septic permit. And then you have a pool. I'm going to be doing a pool. That's a separate permit. It's not the same permit as the home. So home's a separate permit on top of all that. So a lot of this the best way to deal with this thing is if you are dealing with a septic, try to get that solved first, because it's going to hold up your regular permitting. And right now with the weather so good and dry and warm, very dry,
here, so
you don't want to hold things up. And who knows if we might have a heavy monsoon this year. We are in what's called a grand solar minimum. And what that means is that we're getting close to 2030. And there's a channel you might want to watch. It's called Adapt 2030. And he follows the grand solar minimums and maximums and minimums. And he does a lot of reporting on it. But he bases a lot of his information on the Farmer's Almanac. And the Farmer's Almanac is a lot more accurate than a lot of the stuff you get even on the internet, because they take into account solar cycles. They take into account sun cycles and the stars in the atmosphere and all these things that are changing. Like our Earth pivots like this on its axis over a period of time. So they're factoring in a lot more than a projection over the next 2 weeks. They're looking at things from back in the past and seeing forward in the future. So Adapt 2030, he's really good. I would follow him, especially he's in Tennessee, by the way. So he's really keen on the weather there in the Midwest, especially the Far East.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
This is Eric Burgoyne again. OS block is OSB with polystyrene insulation on both sides, so R32 for exterior walls.
Wow. That's interesting. I've seen it on one side, and I have product samples for that, but I haven't seen it on both sides. And it can go up to inch and a half, 2 inches, and up to about 2 to 3 inches max. But then you lose some shear strength on that. So check your engineering on that. I wouldn't go beyond 1.5 inches on the maximum side. And I think that R32 would be closer to maybe 2 inches. I'm not sure. But R32, that's a lot. That's typically what you're getting in your attic insulation. So that's really thick. And that you're probably factoring in the insulation in the wall too, on top of all that. So check your engineer on that. Make sure, because that OSB or that plywood product, if that is acting as your shear. So you got your stud walls here, and you got your sheeting coming up against your stud walls. Well, if your sheeting is really close, then it's got strong shear strength. But if you pull that away like that, you lose some of that shear strength. So double check with long nails too. Oh, my goodness. But check with your engineer and make sure that you're okay with that. Okay, anything else here?
Yeah. Todd Root.
I'll let you read that.
Yeah. I'm working on a prototype for the concrete trade. When ready, how would this or any new product get into the industry and code approval, etc.?
Call me. I'd love to look at it. I'll give you some feedback on it. I found a client or a product manufactured back east, and it's a fencing system, and they use concrete and fiberglass reinforced rebar, not metal rebar, but fiberglass. And they encase that fiberglass inside the post, and then they stain it black, and then they plant those in the ground, and it lasts forever. But he only manufactures them back east, so the cost to get them out west is very, very high. If anybody wants a business idea, there's a business idea for you. And so all these different technologies I'm really interested in. So yes, I know contact the instructor on how to build your own home.
Yeah, but let's talk about this, because this is marketing. This is what I say. So to get it into the industry, wouldn't you say if it's a concrete product, I would go to the concrete distributors and see if they're even open to it. Another thing would be the build and trade shows for building construction, would you say?
Well, here's how you get into the market.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what.
You get a willing buyer willing to try it and put it on their home, regardless of whether or not it has been tested or it has any structural requirements to it. If it doesn't have any structural requirements to it, then if you get people to use it and swear by it, that's gonna drum up more interest.
Mhm.
And the real interest is the academics. There's a few major universities in the country that specialize in construction technology. If they see that's interesting, has a real positive value to it, and people are using it, they may themselves in-house fund the research to support the value of it through an independent study. So get people to use it first.
Yeah, and we don't really know what your product is or anything. I love marketing. Do a YouTube channel all about your product, how it's made and created, the story behind it, and this and that, and then the people that are using it. YouTube is big, and AI is Gemini is part of Google, and in 24 to 36 months, people are going to be using AI like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude more than Google. And if you have a YouTube channel, and that will be pulled up and you'll become the expert. That's my 2 cents. But I love marketing. So.
For those that are entrepreneurial minded, the sooner you can establish yourself as an expert, then the AI is going to pull data from you.
Mm-hmm.
And
but
so
you have to produce it. It has to be out there. It has to be online for it to pull it. So
next one. Good question.
Just want to say hi to Brady.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Yes, it is. A Farmer's Almanac. One of the first ones was created by the Benjamin Benneker. Yep.
Okay, here we are.
Basil
Kingsley. Hey, good to see you again. Canada. He's in Canada. Standing seam. Is it best to buy the sheeting material and pay someone highly experienced to install, or get a company with 50-year warranty to do the install? Saving about 15 grand, 24G versus 26 gauge.
Get the thicker gauge for sure. Okay. But don't try to do that yourself. You're going to make a mistake. And if it leaks, you're accountable for it. Get somebody who's going to go on the record for that, and they're going to give you a 50-year warranty. That's a plus. And so standing seam's really hard if you don't know what you're doing. And if you don't get it done right, and if you don't have I'm not a fan of standing seam, although it looks cool in some applications, but it doesn't hold up to wind like my other favorite metal roof does. Aluminum shingles will hold up to the weather much better than a standing seam. Just keep in mind that with aluminum, you got nails on all four corners, whereas standing seam is just go right down the middle, and it will flap in the wind, especially a lighter gauge standing seam. There's some others that are heavier gauge that you can look into, but they measure it perfectly for the roof and they install it. And if you don't know how to do both of those accurately, especially the flashing part, the flashing up at the top of the roof, the flashing up against the end wall, the flashing in the dead valley, if you don't know any of that, you're cruising for bruising. It's not fun to make a mistake on standing seam. It's really brutal. And you're making a big savings on the contractor side anyway. So that's an area where I wouldn't mess around. It's tempting. Oh my goodness, it's tempting. Like I saw a bid today, and I went and saw some window manufacturer who I'm going to be doing a report on. This a new manufacturer locally, and they're now distributing throughout the nation. Great price, but they're manufactured overseas in China. And they do have a good quality control over the manufacturing of it, but it's a better price for a great product than what you get in some other places. We'll be doing a report on that. But what I'm getting at is that they hire a third party to install the windows. So on this home that they bid on, it was like $17,000, a little over $17,000 to install the windows. 3 guys Actually, it's 2 guys for them. 2 guys, 3 days, 17K. That's a lot of money. And I pointed that out to him. And he goes, yeah, they're just the third party, and we just get the bid from them when we give them the home. And I go, you need to work on that. That's because my framers will install most of the windows as part of the package. And so that's an area to save. That's smart rather than trying to monkey around with something you don't know anything about. So monkey around with something like that. Oh, my framers will do it. So I could talk forever on that. So look at where you can save, but don't save in an area where there's a high risk to yourself. Okay. Next one. I'll let you read that.
CJR 334. Hello. What are your thoughts on green building and net zero houses?
I've never found it of interest. I'm not even interested in that. I do want inner projects. I want earth created products. I do like that, like the fast wall. That's pretty much an earth based product. But I'm not so particular on green technology. And I believe in building an envelope that is so solid that you're capturing passive solar in a very passive way, very effective way, where you don't need to go crazy. I'm not net zero. I'm not green. I want the best technology if I can. And if I had a choice over one that's more synthetic versus one that's more natural, and the natural is actually a better product, I'll go natural. It's like polyiso versus mineral wool. I'll go mineral wool every single time. And so that's a green product. That's a net zero pretty much product, close to it, except for the cost to mine the Portland cement. But you see what I'm getting at. I don't want to go straight up green and say I'm a green guy, but it's not a very efficient home. So I hope that answers your question.
And there's some things that can be green, like just the heating and AC units. The HVAC system can be green. Like
vomit is green.
No, so the whole house doesn't have to be green, but there are some newer technologies that are green.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions for today? Anything you want to add?
No, I don't think so. Okay, we're going to probably end that there today. We are both on our knees on a bed. And our knees are kind
it's like we're praying to you.
We're praying to us, and we've got some friends. They're out in the other room there, so we're going to go have some fun with them.
There's one more. David just showed up.
Yeah, David. What's David's question?
Wait. Oh, there's another one too. Okay, we'll get to you, Chris. Okay. So David B. Hello, good to see you again. Okay, basics and design and lot choice are the most important. Don't buy a lot that requires huge windows facing north in a cold state.
Right.
Don't build a home without overhangs in the south.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's really, I should put that in one of my checklists.
Copy and paste. Do a screenshot on that.
Oh,
okay. I didn't bring my notebook. So, back up to, we're at Carrie Serrelheiser. 3741. In the past, you've mentioned concrete forms go in 2 feet increments.
Mm-hmm.
When designing the initial layout, does the 2-foot increments go to the outside or inside of the corner of the concrete form?
The 2-foot increment is for your trusses. So every truss you put on the roof, it's installed every 2 feet. So if you are going to extend the footprint of a home, don't do it a foot, don't do it a foot and a half, do it a foot, do it 2 feet, because you're going to have cut waste on the roof. You already have the truss that's going to take you that extra 2 feet. So why short yourself? So that's what I'm talking about on the 2-foot increments
on the concrete.
So if you extend something, you have to think about how it affects and impacts everything from the foundation all the way to the roof. And the one thing that most people don't think about is the roof. And every time you extend that roof, extend the footprint, you're extending the roof. And so why just do a foot? Do 2 feet. Do 2 feet, and you're going to be It's one truss. Whether it's a foot, half a foot, or 2 feet, it's all one truss. So I hope that answers your question. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought it goes together that way because you went to the roof. I'm like, no, she's talking about concrete, but now it makes sense. Okay. I hope it makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Green
Okay,
building
green.
is different than green products. Keith,
Oh.
I found that necessarily is not worth it, but it's required in some jurisdictions. Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's a political thing. So
Yes.
that's why you have to do a little research on that. And a lot of it has to do with the landfill waste. They're trying to eliminate highly toxic products in landfill waste. But it's not so much green on the home, it's that what's the impact in our local community if we have excessive waste. So like aluminum shingle, it's a green product. It's pulled from the earth. We take exactly what we need, we put it on the roof, all the waste is recycled. So nothing goes into the landfill. That's pretty much close to what some jurisdictions would say is green. Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna follow up because the concrete one, it's to the outside. Oops.
Okay.
You want to take it to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Go up. Where do you find funding to want to build?
Yes.
Where do you find funding to build any good financial resources? Yes, just in our download section, you will see. It's actually in the first steps course. How do I get funded? And there's a list, links of a lot of different places.
For me.
If you're in California, California has its own owner builder lender that specifically lends to owner builders. There's another like that back east. I think Texas has one. And I have some resources in the Intermountain West. But just check those resources. Anytime I find a new one, I add it to that list. But go there, go to savings and loans, not savings and loans. They're called
Credit unions. Or local banks.
Local banks or credit unions, not a big chain like
Chase Bank.
Like Chase. They're not going to help you. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Can you read that one?
Yeah. OS block is 8 7/8 thick. Mm-hmm. That sandwiches a 3 1/8 engineered OSB with a 3-inch high density foam on exterior and a 2.5 on interior. Has furring strips installed and has grooves on interior side for wires.
The furring strips is what I'm most interested in. I don't see Polyiso doing that. They don't have built-in furring strips. If there's a product that does have that, that's going to speed up your install and make things a lot better for you. So that's a good point.
David has a good point.
If you're designing your own plan, the secret numbers are the hardest to learn and find. LOL. Google is your friend. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. David Parker. Now I'm conceptualizing using high-end heavy gauge sheet metal materials for a smaller barnuminium from a red iron outer frame.
Yeah. Just keep in mind that metal is going to wick cold from the outside to the inside pretty easily. So you have to literally factor in how I'm going to create a thermal break in that metal structure. And where's the thermal break going to be and how am I going to apply it? Otherwise, you're going to have massive wicking inside the house. That's the hard part about barn doors and why I haven't moved in that direction, because it's like having to build a whole nother wall on the outside or inside just to create a thermal break so you don't have that cold and heat wicking into the house. Remember, heat chases cold. So if you're warm outside, or if you're warm inside and it's cold outside, that heat's going to grab a hold of all of the metal structure and it's going to work its way to the colder outer extremities of the building. And I didn't see that as to be very efficient. It's the opposite of an omniblock wall. Omniblock is a heat bank. So you heat up the room and it's just like this drywall, and you bank all that heat in that outer layer, and that's 1.5 inches thick. Drywall is barely 1/2 inch. So on an omniblock, it's 1.5 inches of actual solid concrete, and then you've got your thermal break. Then you've got another 1.5 inches of concrete. Then you've got another thermal break or polyiso foam. Then you have another 1.5 inches of concrete. So you've got this long. It's an incredible system that delays the cold and heat wicking to the outside. That's the hard part with barn doors is they don't really have a built-in thermal break. Like windows, you put a window in, if it's an aluminum window, they've got a plastic filler in there inside the entire frame structure, so you don't have massive cold wicking right into the inside. And that's what barn doors haven't figured out just yet. Unless you have to build that in as part of the insulation package. I could talk forever on that. You get my point.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have a video on how to vent a one-story home without punching through the roof? I'm going to have aluminum shingle, Western Washington. Yeah, just come out of the eave. So if you have at least a 12-inch eave, perhaps 18 inches would be better. Just come out of the eave and just dump it right there. You can vent in the sidewall at least 2 feet below the eave. That's another spot if it works out for you, but try to come out through the eave. You can put ventilation in the aluminum shingle, and they have them in a lot of spots, but I don't recommend them. It has to be aluminum on aluminum. Otherwise, you have a bad reaction, like galvanized metal up against aluminum. It just doesn't work. They conduct differently, and they can cause a problem. So if you do put a vent on the roof, it's aluminum. Make sure it's aluminum the vent is. Otherwise, you can have some problems.
But we don't have a video, do we? Just on venting.
I can do one. Remember. I just vented a sauna. We did it very innovatively. So I'll do a video on venting.
Okay. Can you screenshot that so you can remember? Because I don't have my notebook.
What is it? Command 4?
Mm-hmm. Command Shift 4.
Command Shift 4.
And then screen. Okay.
Okay.
And then David, he's just talking about designs again. My suggestion is draw what you want or find a design you like, then have a really good draftsperson convert your basic design to one that uses economical dimensions. And then Laura, she's talking about what defines economic dimensions, and that's like the 2 feet. Like rectangle is economical. Every 2 feet is economical.
Yeah, you don't want to have something with all kinds of bump outs and cantilevers and all that. Try to eliminate that if this is your first run through on this. A rectangular home is probably the most efficient design you can. You're not going to make a lot of mistakes.
Yep.
I just got a contract to build a 58 by 82 barn dominion. Haven't built one before. It should be interesting. All timber frame. That's not bad. Have you built one before? Any advice? On timber, I wouldn't mind that at all. That would be fun because you're going to have exposed timbers on the inside, and you're going to have less cold wicking from the outside to the inside. So,
but we haven't built a barn.
No, I built a lot of timber frame structures though. So you're going to want somebody who's experienced, not in barn door metal buildings, but typical
Brady's
cabin built, like a person who's built big timber cabins. They're going to be dealing with timbers like that for that large barn, especially with that open.
Brady has done quite a few.
Yeah.
So you're going to be great.
You're going to be fine.
Okay.
I'll let you read the next one.
Okay. Omni blocks would be smarter money, better spent. Looks.
Yeah.
Then let's see. This is from David to Laura. Your foundation using 2 feet increments, standard size windows and doors, wall heights that aren't in between standard lumber sizes.
Yeah.
Okay. J Dist Camp. Okay, comp.
I'm going to do the siding of my mom's 1940 house, which has no insulation and sheathing. Do you recommend sheathing and ice insulation, or just leave it how it was built and just install the siding? You're going to want to insulate that, but again, you could be in Florida, and I don't know where you are. But if you're anywhere north, the Midwest to the north, you're going to want to insulate that. So, good question. Brady says, I love building simple little rectangular homes, go up so fast. Good to keep as rental. Yes.
And congratulations on getting that build job. That's awesome.
That's cool.
Keep us posted. Send us pictures.
What are the
price per square
price
foot?
per trending like right now in the states you operate in?
We have different clients with different price ranges. It's
I have
so hard.
I build from like $205 to like $1,600 a square foot, so it really ranges
So
there.
what's trending right now? Okay, so from a real estate perspective and what's selling on the market that's new for new construction, it's ranging. The very cheap end is probably like $300 a square foot,
Yeah,
and then the higher end, like you can get up to 16. But even in the mid range, it's under $1 million. I
and
would
for owner
say
builders, you should be in the
lower.
low 200s to high 100s, 175 to 250 if you're doing it smart and you're keeping it simple.
That doesn't include the land then.
No, doesn't include the land.
Because that would be
Yeah.
200 to 250 as an owner builder, but building is like 3 to 600 a square foot.
Yeah, Brady says he's going to do a build series. Yeah, let us know. That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. Well, we're going to get going with some friends here. Let's take that one more question here. And this one here is, be careful. People in England have been trying to retrofit old homes with new insulation. And there are a lot of gotchas to watch out for, mainly because it's humid there. Adding insulation good outright, not so much.
Airtight.
Yeah, if you're going for super airtight, you're going to run into some problems. Any cold condensing surface is going to wick cold on there, build up moisture, and start to rot away, which is why they just had those fires and everything was open air and they lasted for such a long time. And thanks, Simon Owner Builder. Great answer. Brody, what has been your price per square foot on your rectangular homes? Yeah, let Laura know, Brody, what your cost per square foot is. Brady. So
Okay.
anyway, I'm going to get going here. We'll be here next week and from 5 to 6 for sure that whole time. We just have a lot of noise out there and we're going to get there. And my knees are killing me. I'm on the floor right now. So anyway, you guys take care and we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.